Hello and welcome to episode 2 of the Public Affairs in Practice podcast. This week I wanted to have a little look at the problem of dealing with reputation during a crisis. Obviously the current COVID-19 situation across the world has brought the behaviour of companies very much more into the spotlight. There are good and bad examples, but the key lesson is that decisions made during the current coronavirus outbreak will impact on an organisation's reputation well beyond the end of it. There have been some great blogs written about this in the past weeks and months. In particular, Alistair Campbell did a very good one about reputation management and government communications. But I agree with Jenna Keeley, who was writing on the PRCA website when she talked about a reputational risk coming. And we've already seen examples of this, and critically, from a public affairs perspective, politicians are taking notice and getting involved. The actions of organisations are generating poor relations that will see them deal with consequences well beyond the current crisis. And if we look at a couple of examples, hopefully that will start to show this up. So in the UK, if you look at the issue of, or the example of Sports Direct, their decision to try and argue that they were an essential retailer went down really badly. And government ministers said so as much in the media. And then there were queries over whether they were going to pay their staff, and also stories about their own brand products being doubled in price. There are examples in the States of similar issues in the tech sector as well. Another example here in the UK is with JD Wetherspoon, the pub chain. It initially announced that it had about 40,000 staff that wouldn't be paid until it had been reimbursed by the government under its business support scheme. But then after receiving a letter signed by nearly 100 MPs, the company reversed its decision. Now, whether those in the supply chain will be paid is, according to some of the stories in the media, still a bit unclear. And we saw the BEIS Select Committee, the Business, Energy and Industrial Strategy Select Committee in the House of Commons, wrote to both Mike Ashley, as the owner of Sports Direct, and Tim Martin, the chairman of Wetherspoons, calling on them to explain what they were doing to support their employees. And both companies were named and shamed and challenged during Prime Minister's question time. So the political spotlight has been brought onto them. And this led Mike Ashley to issue an open letter of apology in a sort of a classic non-apology type way. And I'll just take a second to read out some of what the letter said. I thought it was necessary to address and apologise for much of what has been reported across various media outlets regarding my personal actions and those of the Frasers Group business. And towards the end of the letter, he said, I am deeply apologetic about the misunderstandings of the last few days. We will learn from this and we will try not to make the same mistakes in the future. So the letter is actually quite unclear about whether the company is really sorry for what it has done or simply for the way in which the media has carried the story. Now, the letter was, though, carried online on the BBC media under the headline, Coronavirus, Mike Ashley speech marks deeply apologetic speech marks for blunders. So in that sense, it had its desired effect. But you can also look at examples such as Elon Musk's tweets. There was a TikTok video from the chief executive of Harrods. And even early on in the outbreak, the sort of joke Snapchat video posted by the footballer Dele Alli. In his case, there appeared to be an immediate appreciation of the damage he had inflicted on himself and his club Tottenham Hotspur. And the video seemed to mock an Asian man and make light of the coronavirus outbreak. The video was swiftly removed, and Ali issued an apology on Weibo, the Chinese social media platform. Now, in the case of Mike Ashley and Tim Martin, they're both high profile, and especially in Ashley's case, this isn't his first run-in with Parliament. And Martin was unafraid to voice his support for Brexit both before and after the referendum, and that seems to have made him both friends and enemies. So I suppose what I'm trying to say is that the actions during the current crisis will likely stay with any organisation, so that has to be considered in all their actions and understanding and dealings with government now. So business may be on hold for a period of time, but certainly reputation management is not.